And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Purple Pod. I got a special men's improvement show for y'all today. If you're just now coming in, please like the video on the way in, subscribe, hit the notification bell, please, so then you know when new shows are coming up. Make sure to follow us on our other platforms, especially Instagram. We're now live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube all at the same time. Go sign up for my new coaching link below if you're a guy that needs personal help in dating. Also, check out the Patreon if you want to support that way, or you can also show some support by just hitting the join button right here in the YouTube video. Become a member, you'll get some really good, really cool emojis that you see other people using right now in the chat. I'm streaming on all the audio platforms too. If you just want to, listen podcast wise, you can. Just don't listen at your work probably. Make sure to add the Instagram right now though, because I got my homie right here, Nuke, on there. So go add him and show some support. I also got him tagged. I did not tag him in the YouTube description or in the YouTube. I need to tag him on there too. But make sure to check it after the video so y'all can go add him on there. Anybody that has a YouTube channel or you have a business around Dallas, I have a media marketing company that I just started. I'm doing a media marketing package that's a really, really good deal, pumping out shorts for way cheaper prices than anybody else is doing them for anyone. Please hit me up if you need help in any of your media marketing. You want to stop paying for ads or something. That shit don't work no more, so hit me up. But yeah, shout out to my no producer today. I got none. It's just me, guys. Mr. Producer. Boom. But yeah. I appreciate you for coming, bro. It was a really fun show last night, honestly. You really dropped some knowledge bombs that I never have really dropped on the show before. So it was really awesome having some fresh takes on this shit, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of points that I was even like, damn, like I got it was a pod class for me too as well. But yeah, dude, I really appreciate you for coming, man.
My pleasure.
Just to start off, I just want to learn more about you, dude. Go ahead and shout yourself out though, where people can find you on Instagram, and then go ahead and like explain more about your life too. Like where you're from and all that.
All right, so yeah, you guys can find me on first off on Twitter, twitter.com Calillo Nuclear. Same thing on YouTube, and then on Twitch, Nuclear Calillo, and then on Instagram, Nuclear Calillo as well. Um, and I'll be dropping videos about game, dating, red pill stuff, improvement, and stuff like that. I come from a very tempered, chill kind of like solution based thing. So, guys, if you really want to learn and create healthy mental models to live your life, whether you're married, single, want a whole rack of girls, follow me there. So, my background. So, I was born in New York City. I was a Navy brat, so I moved all over Europe and the East Coast of the United States. My parents are Dominican, so that's my ethnicity. I spent most of my childhood living in Puerto Rico, and then I went to college in Puerto Rico. So I have a lot of like friends, and that's where I really started getting to know women and stuff. So I have like a different perspective because I started learning about women from outside the United States. So I joined the military myself. I'm a former nuclear reactor operator for the United States Navy. I
Oh,
was
that's where your name comes from.
Yeah, so that's where my name comes from. So yeah, I was in the nuclear industry for a while, and then I got out the Navy, traveled the world, got out the Navy, and then settled here in Texas because I had family and friends here, so I wanted to live, and then also I wanted to live in the city and experience the city, which I don't regret it. Best decision I ever made.
Yep.
So yeah, and then I just when I got to Dallas, I just said I'm going to give myself the opportunity to meet women and just get out there and have a good social life because I was on a ship for 6 years and I never got the opportunity. I did try to date, but it just wasn't the same. So now I got to Dallas. I kind of just told myself, what's the best way to meet women? I did my thing. I learned a lot, and then I've been in the red pill kind of like the old manosphere. The new manosphere is unrecognizable, guys, but the old manosphere was something else. So in 2013 I read the Rational Mail. I got on the forums, the blogs, and
Were you on So Suave, I think it was called?
no, I was on Roosh V Forum and Return of Kings.
Okay.
And it's cool because when I was on those forums and those blogs, I read a lot of the guys' work, whether it be philosophy, fitness, and all those guys follow me now. So it's interesting that like 10 years ago, I was like looking up to these writers and stuff, but now they follow me, and it's really humbling experience. But yeah, I've been in the space 10 years, but now it's manosphere now has nothing to do with what it used to be.
What
It's
it
so
used to be.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Night and day difference.
yeah, I could tell you guys how it used to be if you guys are interested, but man, it's so different.
No, we're definitely gonna talk about it. I gotta ask really quick though. You said you did the nuclear reactor stuff for the Navy. What ship were you on?
I was on the USS Truman.
USS Truman, and
Yeah,
what was that? Like, what kind of ship
it's
was
an
it?
aircraft carrier. So in the Navy, the only two types of ships that have nuclear reactors are aircraft.
Submarines and aircraft carriers.
Exactly. So I didn't want to live on a submarine, so I didn't volunteer for a submarine. Yeah, it's
Smart guy, man.
personal space for me. It was personal space. And then so I just went on a carrier, and then as soon as I reported to my ship, 2 years into because you got to train for a long time to operate a reactor.
Yeah,
Once I got to the ship, 2 days later, deployed for 8 months. So I got to see. I went to the Middle East. I went to Europe. I went to all these places, and very interesting life. It was very a lot of hard work, a lot of bad times, but I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. I met a lot of good people, lifelong friends. So
no, that's
yeah.
badass, man. And it was it just I watched a video on nuclear reactor or people that worked on them, like the people that worked in the middle of the U.S. You know, where there's a bunch of silos there. Was it kind of a similar job where it's like super strenuous? Like there's like two people that have to put the keys in. Like were you one of those people where like if you ever had to use them, you were one of the ones doing that, or did you only keep maintenance up?
Okay, so what you're thinking of is like the two keys coming in. That's like nuclear weapons,
Yeah.
right? So I worked in energy production, right? Not
Oh.
nuclear weapons, right?
Oh man, that would have
So
been so dope
so
though.
you guys seen the Simpsons? Have you seen the Simpsons?
Yeah, just like Homer. Yeah.
Yeah, Homer Simpson is based on us. So
Ah,
Matt Groening, the creator of the Simpsons, his best friend was a nuclear operator back in the 90s.
what the fuck?
So he modeled Homer Simpson after his best friend.
Why did you need to be able to do that on the ship though? Like
What do you mean?
like so why like because you're not helping, with the warheads. So what
Yeah.
did you do then?
So, do you know how much power it takes to push 100,000 tons of a sovereign American
We use
territory?
nuclear power for that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We
I
have
thought we
two.
just used oil.
No, we have two reactors, right? And that's why our navy is so powerful.
We use nuclear reactors in our ships. I had no
Two.
idea that we
Yeah, we
did
have
that.
two, and
It's only in those two ships or what?
submarines all have one,
Submarines all have
and
one.
all carriers have two.
What the fuck? I
Yeah,
did not know this. I had
yeah,
no idea that we were using ship power with nuclear
yeah.
power.
So, um, my boss one day he told me like when 9/11 happened, right? How fast do you think a carrier got from like the Middle East to New York City to kind of like support, because we thought we were under attack? Took about like a day and a half.
What the
The
fuck?
aircraft carriers are fastest
How
ship.
many knots? Do you know how fast
I
they were going?
I think that's classified,
That's
but
crazy.
fast.
But they can go really fucking fast if
Yeah,
they need to.
they're the fastest ship we have
So,
because we
like,
have
if
so
you
much
were
power.
up, standing up on the top, you would fucking fly away nearly at the speed that they're going. Because on a cruise ship, you feel like you're gonna fucking fly away.
Probably, and we need to go a certain speed to launch jets. And
See, that's even crazier.
so the reactor serves three purposes on the ship. Well, a couple, but the main three is that dumping steam into the main engines. The main engines are huge; they're the size of like elephants, right? They're like,
Jesus Christ.
and then number two is to provide electrical power for the ship, so people can have electricity. So we have
Mhm.
giant electrical generators. And number three is the steam. We use steam power to launch the jets, right?
Jeez.
And I'm telling you right now, first off, those jets are louder than you think.
Yeah.
It's cooler than you think. Like you can watch all the Top Gun in the world, but when you see one of those launch and you see all the guys doing the thing and you see them doing it's so much cooler than in the movies. You have to, if you have a family member that's in the Navy and they invite you for a cruise or something like that, please go because it is one of the coolest things you'll ever see. And then there's other things like purifying water and all other things, but it's a very interesting life. It takes a lot of work, a lot of brain power. I was studying, like when I was in nuke school, I was studying. I go to school for 8 hours a day, and then I'd study every day 4 hours after school.
Jesus
And
Christ.
that was mandated. I had to study. It was very difficult for me because I wasn't the smartest, but like I worked really, really hard. And then when I got to the ship, I also worked really, really hard. It was very tough times. A lot of my friends ended up in mental hospitals because of just the amount of work and the pressure and being away from family. And then when I qualified a reactor operator, you basically become like daddy on the ship. Like you're untouchable. You become everyone looks up to you. Everyone you're like almost untouchable. But you have a lot of responsibility because you have to fix, maintain, and train other people, right? And that's where my experience mentoring younger guys is like I had to like run a plant, and also I had young guys to the left and right of me, and I had to like coordinate taking a reactor from 0% power to 100% power because maybe we're being chased by Russians, or maybe the captain needed speed so we can launch these planes, or maybe we just wanted to go fast to impress a French senator, or something. It's like we need to do these things, and there's a lot of logistics and coordination that really passes on towards coaching men and also dating women, because logistics and all that stuff. So I just thought maybe I am a little bit qualified for this, and turns out I am.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It worked out perfect.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it is for a lot of people in this space. Like
Yeah.
like your path kind of pushed you towards this. That's how it was for me. I feel like I just to like kind of go back to what we were talking about. Like the red pill being different and stuff. Before the show started, we were talking about women coming into the space and stuff. I want to ask, do you think that there's a difference between like the red pill community and the manosphere community?
um yes.
And like, how would you separate it? Like, how do you define like the difference between those two?
So manosphere is a container word used so feminists and outsiders and people that don't know, or people that don't care, um, can use our worst members against us,
Hmm.
right? So if someone goes on a podcast, says some dumb stuff, then the media can come in and be like, look how terrible the manosphere is. And I'm like, dude, I have nothing to do with that guy.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just an easy way to group everybody.
right, I have
Yeah.
nothing to do with that guy. And then now the world consciousness looks and says, like, kind of destroys that image. I'm like, I have nothing to do. We're all individuals.
Hmm.
Like, obviously we meet up and we do shows, and some of us even become friends because we just become, we're like, people become friends. It's normal.
Yeah.
But what someone does has nothing to do with me, right? And that's the problem now. And then for the red pill is simply a praxology. It's not really a community. It's not really a group of people. It's basically a means to an end, right? So a lot of people want to lump red pill and manosphere together, so because it makes it easier to attack,
Yeah.
right? So when someone says red pill community, what they're saying is, I'm gonna use the red pill community term so I can use its worst members against it. That way we can crumble or destroy this community. But in reality, dude, the red pill is just, it's just basically a library. You go in, you check out what you need, or a toolbox.
Yeah. Yeah.
You take out,
Tool
like,
belt. Yeah.
yeah, like for example, when you guys go to fix something in your house, let's say you got a leaky sink or you want to fix a fan, do you bring your whole toolbox, like those big red, um, you go into your red big tool thing, and you take what you need. Like, okay, I got a wrench, I need a wrench, I need this, I need vice grips, and then that's all you take, and then you go fix. If you need something else, you come back, and then you return the tools, and your problem is fixed. That's what the red pill is, right? If you have a relationship problem, like for example, let's say your wife is getting apprehensive, or your girl is getting apprehensive because you're not giving her enough time. You go to a forum, you read a book, you watch a podcast like this one, you find your answer, and you go back, you fix your problem, and that's it.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't like that because fixing problems doesn't make a lot of money. And also, it's like, dude, like, girls, you're the leader in your relationship, so it's on you if something happens to fix it, right? If
Yeah.
you have a relationship, if it's
Mhm.
just a throwaway girl, who cares, right? But
Yeah.
and that's the problem. Like, guys need to start taking responsibility for their relationships and finding the answers. And manosphere has nothing to do with it. Manosphere is just, it's just an empty word right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Well, like, but if we had to categorize like all the guy speakers, like, how do we categorize them if we don't say manosphere? Like, what's another way? Like just for conversation's sake, because like
Yeah.
this is what I'm trying to
Like a
I'm trying
placeholder
to talk.
term.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just get like, is there another word, or can I use manosphere right now without you thinking I'm using like a container word? Because I'm just trying to group all men together. I'm not trying to
Yeah. Yeah.
like say anything derogatory about them, but I need to group all the men in this space together just really quick for a point I'm going to make.
Yeah.
So I would say that the red pill is, like you said, it's a praxeology. It's something that anybody can use, but a lot of times it ends up being gate kept sometimes in the community
Mm-hmm.
by the men.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's ignorant, because red pill can be known by men and women. The tool belt, the tools can be used by
Open
men
source.
and
Yeah.
women. Yes, it's open source. There's no reason for only the men to be able to use it. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
would say the manosphere, like women trying to be in the manosphere, is
Mm-hmm.
an issue. Like women trying to like give men's advice, do men's type of like men's advice, really, just that type of content. Now that's kind of weird, like Pearl, I would say she's doing entertainment, so I really don't put her in the manosphere,
Mm-hmm.
because she's really just entertaining and using the same type of stuff as us, but she's not trying to teach men anything. She started a wife school and she's trying to teach women some stuff, but in reality she's not like I don't consider her part of the manosphere because she's not trying to teach men. If anything, she's really trying to teach women stuff on her show,
Mm-hmm.
and she uses her female perspective and her female experiences to reinforce some of the facts,
Right.
which is a really good thing to have on our side in the red pill community, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. So like, just like, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about like the gatekeeping in the red pill community? Do you think like the people that are kind of trying to gatekeep the red pill, like they're just kind of like stupid about that? Like, it's no point in it.
So yes and no. So gatekeeping, like I said, the red pill's open source. If anyone, like, this is a free country. You can go out and do whatever you want, and I'm totally fine with that. Everyone can speak whatever they want, right? But understand too that people aren't reading the source material. People aren't doing the work,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you can watch 100 Fresh and Fits, 100 Pearl shows, 20 Purple Pills, you can watch mine. But if you don't do the work in your own life, dude, don't waste your time. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're just grab popcorn every time you watch a show and pretend it's a movie.
Entertainment.
Yeah,
The Mario. It's another Mario episode or something.
and it's tough because I like when I would watch shows like this and I'd be like, yeah, but then at the same time I'm like, I gotta look at my own relationships in my life and I gotta fix these things. Like I gotta do the work. I gotta put in the work myself. And like for example, the red pill doesn't encourage or discourage therapy. That's on you as a man to decide. No man can tell you that you need therapy. You need to be like, I'm gonna try this and go to therapy, right? No man can tell you how to love your women, right? You have to make that choice. And a lot of men are scared because just like they want a perfect workout, like some guys are really like, what do I do for traps or what do I do for arms? But the reason they're asking that is because they're afraid that they're not going to get a perfect answer if they search for it themselves. They need somebody to tell them, hey, this is what you need to do. Like in reality, dude, you can just go to the gym, do some curls, try it for a month. If it doesn't work, you move on to something else. Same thing with this stuff. Like you can watch all the shows you want, but if you don't turn around and maybe read some books or go to therapy or kind of like journal, whatever you got to do, you're not going to get the results. You're just going to be stuck spinning your wheels in the mud, right? And that's the two sides of it. Like, yes, I don't think anything should be gate kept. This is open source. Anyone can talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, just know that if you're encouraging people to just stay in this state of like anger and being mad at women, you're not, like
Kind of
it's
making the problem worse instead of better.
yeah. Well, it's like you're doing a disservice sometimes because guys are like not dumb. Young men are not stupid. You know the average age on an aircraft carrier?
What?
23.
Damn.
So the strongest, most powerful weapon ever created by mankind is being run mostly by 23-year-olds.
That's wild.
And people go on these podcasts and just young men this young. I'm like, no, dude, there are young guys smarter than me. They're just not experienced and a little impressionable, right? So young men, all we gotta do is tell them like, hey man, there's things that we gotta tell young guys like you're on your own, but we got you if you need an answer.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to figure this stuff out yourself. I'm not here to hold your hand, right? And that's how we train guys in the military. We call it fly birdie fly, right? We kick the bird out of the nest and then try to make them fly, and that's how we train. Like, you know how scary it is to start up a reactor? The whole ship is shaking, and then there's like a whole chain of command waiting on you to press the right button at the right time. It's very like, people had anxiety attacks and breakdowns. So the best way to teach people to like take control of a reactor or their life or their dating life is to push them over the edge and be like, you got this. We'll be at the bottom if you get hurt, And I think that's why there's like a little bit of gatekeeping, because we don't want to hold men's hand all the way down to the bottom. We want to let them fall a little bit, make mistakes, and it's okay. And that's why I say no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares if you make a mistake, man. Just stay out of jail. Don't do drugs. Don't get addicted to drugs, and call your mom and dad for once in a while because
Yeah.
they love you. That's it. That's the best prescription I got, because everything else you gotta learn yourself.
Yeah. No, and that's another thing. We like you're talking about like the tool belt thing and like the praxeology and like how when you have like an issue in your life or anything, like you go back and like you just use one of the tools like when you need them. Um, like what do you think about all these different courses though? You got Michael Sartain's MOA, you got Andrew Tate with the War Room, the Real World, Fresh from Fresh and Fit's doing the Fresh or the CEO Network now. Do you think that like all these people that are trying to like take the horse to water, like all these people that are like trying to like lead people, do you think that that is like a good way? Because I 1,000% agree with you. Like in my course, the hardest thing, like the biggest thing about what I do is yell at people to go do it the hard way,
Hmm.
because like that's you have to fall, you
You
have
gotta
to,
put in reps. Yeah.
yes, you got to put in reps, and but it's like people, that is the path of the most resistance,
Hmm.
and we choose the path of least resistance
Yeah,
today.
naturally. Yeah.
So it's like, do you really think that like all those people, like there's no point in teaching them, like this path with least resistance, or is there a point to kind of do both? Is there something in the middle ground, kind of like what I do versus what they do? Like, what do you think with that?
Um, we live in a great time now where we have a lot of resources. The internet is very, you can find whatever information you need or want, any book or anything like that. Um, and what I say is like, how much is a course nowadays? Like, what's the most expensive course out there? Like,
10,000. I think Michael's is 10,000 for his most expensive one.
yeah, but
But
like,
anywhere from 5 to 10, like the War Room's 5,000. The cheapest ones are like $100 a month.
yeah, if you're a young guy and you want a course or you want to subscribe to something, yeah, start out with something cheap. You don't have the money and resources, and then as you see the value in things, like ultimately as a guy, no one can make that decision for you. If you want to learn about something, but just know that you have to like care. You're not gonna read the Rational Mail or read even your course or anything, and then boom, things are gonna happen.
Hmm.
Like that's just all that does is make a plan for you, and then once the plan is laid out, you have to execute. Like you have to execute. And I, um, I recently posted a thread on Twitter where it's like, guys, all the you can have money, you can have everything, right? But if you don't take action, you don't have the will to act, you're not going anywhere. You
Hmm.
can have the most souped up car, everything, but if you don't press the gas, you're not going anywhere. And that's what we need to teach guys. Like, make mistakes, look dumb, be stupid. No one cares, no one's watching.
Yeah, really,
Just
nobody fucking cares, bro.
no, no. And I wasn't always good with women, and sometimes I still mess up. I still fumble girls. I fumble girls all the time, and I'm just like, whatever, And no one's around. Like, haha, look, no one's around, and no one really cares what I do with anything, right? But at the end of the day, like, it's okay. No one cares. Relax. You will figure this stuff out. You just gotta execute. That's all.
The quicker you realize nobody cares is the quickest, or is the fastest time whenever you truly realize you're free.
Hmm.
It's so freeing when you
Freedom,
learn
yeah.
nobody gives a fuck about what the fuck is really going on.
Yeah.
I gotta go back to kind of like, I gotta ask about like the praxeology thing. This is something, in the space all the time, is we don't give advice. This is a praxeology. This is a praxeology. Like, you see this stuff all the time from people like Rolo, and just high end people in like the community and stuff. It's something that really triggers me personally. It's something that I argue with everybody about a lot, because we have a lot of these courses and things that people teach, and they are not praxeology courses. They use the praxeology to come up with the best prescriptions possible, and they all have different prescriptions. Michael teaches to utilize pre-selection, using girls to be around other girls. You got the CEO network teaching guys how to build a strong men's network and to move up from that. And then once you build into an awesome man, you can get whatever girls you want. Andrew Tate's thing's probably pretty similar to that as well. So everybody gives these prescriptions based around the red pill praxeology. And something that really bothers me is whenever people say this is just praxeology, this is praxeology. No, you support this. You support this prescription. So you are supporting a prescription. And then at the end of the day, then if it comes down to prescriptions, then in because of our blessed world of free market economy, the best shall rise to the top. The
Mhm.
best prescription, the one that is the best, nobody
Will
should
sell
be
the
saying
most. Yeah.
yes. There should be no crying over who's right or who's wrong. Whoever's the best will be at the top.
Mhm.
Right now, I would say MOA is growing at a crazy rate with Michael Sartain because he's teaching pre-selection, something that I teach as well, because nobody else is doing it. But it's the future. I would say it's the thing that people are going to be latching onto the most over the next 5 to 10 years, probably, especially people that want relationships or actually want to have kids one day or something like that. But like whenever you see all these different courses, you see all this stuff, which one of all of them do you think is going to be the best prescriptions over the next, 5 to 10 years? Which one do you think is going to win that battle of capitalism that's really the ultimate course or whatever? Do you think Andrew Tate's going to take it?
Well, it depends which arena, economically. or just like effect on
Ooh,
men
that
overall?
is a good
There's different
question.
arenas,
Let's
right?
say overall, like who's gonna end up having the guys that in 30, 40 years are gonna be the most overall happy? We're not gonna just say rich because I think they're all gonna create rich men.
Happy. Okay.
Yes, let's say the one, and I'm also going to define happiness as having a family with kids, even though that's very subjective. I'm going to define it. Which one of those courses do you think is going to push people the most towards that? This is a very subjective answer,
Yeah, yeah.
though.
Okay. I've never bought a course.
See, I've never bought any of them either. I just know
Yeah.
about them all.
Do you mean course or books or literature? Like what?
Most of them have like, well, just I guess you'd have to base this off of what you've known they've talked about. So
Yeah.
you know that their course, because Andrew Tate stuff is really based off like teaching the internet hustles, like all the
Yeah.
different ways to make money online, copywriting, drop shipping, like all that type of stuff. MOAs, like the pre-selection thing, doing the bikini model stuff, doing the photo shoots. CEO networks, like connecting with people.
You're asking what's going to stand the test of time, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
which one's gonna win? Like in the next 5 to 10 years, who's gonna be like the top dog and like be making the most money? You think of all these big influencers that are in the space making money right now?
Most money, impact, influence. Oh man, good question. Um,
They're all stagnating right now. They're all like the same spot.
yeah, I would say, you know, I've never really thought about this because I go to books, right? And
Yeah, you're with the OGs.
yeah, I've been, I've been on the forum since 2013. I remember the day I got the email that Roosh quit the red pill. I remember because I was on his email list and I couldn't believe it. His sister had just died and he was like broken and he said the next email was like, I'm done with this. So I've been in there for a long time, but I would say, man, I would say the what's gonna cross most impact um is gonna be, I would say, I mean, Rational Male series is going to be the most impact, right?
And since
Because
he's working with Michael, it's probably
yeah,
going to end up being on MOA then, because
yeah,
he's directly hand in hand with them. Yeah,
that's like it's like the some people say it's the Bible,
it's
but
the basis of it all.
yeah.
Yeah,
So like, if anything you take away anything from that, it's the um you know just the basic fundamentals.
it's going
And
to stand the test of time.
yeah, because it's comes from a very mixture of experience, an amalgamation of all the blogs from like before we were even hit puberty, right?
Yeah,
Um, and then I would say that in terms of other literature, I would say this is gonna sound crazy, right? The married red pill, because guess what? We're all gonna start getting married here in the next 10 years.
what's the married red pill?
It's a Reddit forum, right? So the red pill Reddit forum
Well,
got quarantined.
yeah. I didn't know that there was a married Reddit one.
Yeah,
I always go to Red Pill Women.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one I go to really.
Well, Red Pill forum got quarantined on
Yeah,
Reddit, and then married Red Pill. And you know why? Because like I like what these guys are doing with these courses, and I think it's pretty cool. Pre-selection, all that stuff. That's good. That's very important, and it helps me immensely when I date. It makes dating like 10 times easier,
no,
right? But one day we're gonna get married, and you can't use that pre-selection to get your wife, in a place where she won't divorce you or she will be happy, right? Because and that's the thing, like a lot of the side of the red pill no one understands is that when you're married or have a long term relationship, it's a different game. You still gotta be the man. You still gotta you still gotta use dread pre-selection. You gotta be the guy still,
mm,
right? But now you're dealing with issues like because you love this woman,
mm,
and she has your kids,
mm-hmm.
and that's the side I think that's a void that a lot of guys who like these shows and stuff like that. That's the type of inner work you have to do, deep inner work, right? Because that comes in like your generational trauma. The way you were taught how to be a man, but you may have not had a father. You may have had a father, but he did things differently. And I think blogs like that help you with like married stuff because we're gonna get married soon are going to start. Because right now everyone's focused on the how do I get the hoes, girls, party lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
and man, I'm all about that. I love that. But eventually we're gonna start getting married, settle down. And now we're gonna have a different set of problems because now you're in love with the women and you can't just go get other hoes because she's your wife. I don't know if that's what you want,
Do
but
you do you like think marriage is okay today? Like would you get married in the next 5 years? Like do you?
not with the state.
Yeah. So see, so like that's the thing is like I will never push marriage, and the reason why. So, but I don't push marriage, but you know what I do push? men get into politics. One of my biggest mentors in my program
Yeah.
is somebody that ran
Putting
for.
your money where your
Yeah.
mouth is, right?
Yeah, guys need, but we're all supposed to be solution-based men. Where the fuck are the men in politics?
Yeah.
Like why aren't we voting? Like, why aren't we doing these
School
things?
board, at least
Yeah.
get on the school
And the
board.
reason why nobody in the red pill space talks about this stuff is because it does shit to their YouTube channel and stuff. But I'm fucking nobody, so I'll talk about it all day long.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all need to get into the fucking polls. Like, yes,
Yeah.
we need to have more guys get onto city boards so then we can start our political careers now.
Yeah.
So in 10 years you
Get
can
involved.
run for Senate,
Right.
or you can run from Congress. But it starts with getting on a city board right now in
Yeah.
your local government. And we need more red pillars doing this type of shit because we're supposed to be purpose men. We're supposed to be or trying to, actually come up with solutions for things. We're supposed to be solution based.
Yeah.
And it really bothers me that they're not. But yeah, so I don't push marriage because of that. I push changing the law. But yeah, if I could do it regardless of the state, I would do it without the state.
Well,
the biggest thing is a woman will be with you without the ring if she's really down for you. There's women that will have your kids. You can find a woman who's so fucking down for you, she doesn't give a fuck
Exactly.
about a fucking ring.
You just give her the ring and say, "This is whatever you want it to be."
Yeah,
That's what we say. Like, this is whatever you want it to be. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I want you to choose me every day, not because of a contract.
Yeah.
Or I want you to choose me. So if you ever wanted to walk, you can leave.
Yeah, and so like, whenever you first like saw like anything about like my channel or anything like that, when you saw Purple Pill, I know most people in the red pill space don't think good things when they see the word purple pill. What did you personally think about? What do you think purple pill is? Why do you think I named my channel Purple Pill Pod?
I would say it's because there's just there's a lot of things about the perception of the red pill you didn't like, and you wanted a more middle of the road approach to it, maybe a sober approach, less flashy and all that stuff. So that's why I probably think
I want to change my name because this is the assumption that everybody gets, but it's just not like the truth. Like, don't get me wrong, it is kind of a good name if I want to like tell everybody that I always want to be the devil's advocate to
I
red
just like
pill
the
or
aesthetic
something.
too.
Yeah, I love purple. Purple's my favorite color, bro.
Yeah.
But no, like it's definitely like I like to always debate, like be devil's advocate against red pill for sure. But the biggest reason why I originally named it this was because I'm a huge fan of AMS, Alpha Male Strategies. Have you ever watched them before?
Rings a bell. Alpha Male Strategy.
You've definitely had to see him before. He's an OG in the space. But like he's a huge inspiration to me. And one of the big things he talks about all the time, he's huge. He has like 600,000 subscribers. One of the big things he always talks about is he calls guys in a relationship who are red pill guys purple pillars. Because he's like, yeah, you must be stupid to be red pill and also be in a relationship. He's a really good guy at teaching like game and just like he's an alpha. He's like 6', he's like a 6'5" black dude that's just jacked.
Yeah.
So like he's one of those guys that he doesn't like to settle down, but he knows a lot about settling down because he's done it a lot in his past. He's older. He's an old cat now. He's like 45
experience.
or something. Yeah, he's very experienced.
You can't fight experience, man.
Dude, no, that's why he's my favorite, bro. And usually it's because everything he says, I'm like, boy, I did the same shit. I experienced the same thing as you. Like, you're so right about this guy. I know exactly what you're saying. So whenever he would always talk about purple pill guys, like the guys that are in relationships, even though they're red pilled, I resonate very heavy with that because I'm very red pill, but I have a relationship. Like, I'm still in a relationship. But most people just like I joined Fresh and Fit's Discord because there was a Dallas Discord of a bunch of guys. I was always debating and arguing with these guys because a lot of them were in relationships. A lot of them, like none of them were. None of them had like really good jobs or anything like that. Like I felt like I was like on a different level than most of them. I was a business owner. I had a really good relationship, and I was just like, dude, I disagree with y'all on like all this fucking shit. And it's like I'm more red pill than y'all are. Like my relationship, my girl, the way my whole life is set up, I'm more red pill than y'all in most aspects.
And do you know why you were more red pill than all of them? But because you used it as a tool to get what you wanted out of life. You didn't see a lot of the guys that are still they have the red pill rage phase. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Where you're just they're still stuck there, and that you're not sober emotionally. And I feel like every guy who's been like lied to his whole life about the true nature of society and women, all that stuff, they need to go through that. I went through that.
Yeah,
right?
everybody does. Yeah.
But also you can't stay there. Like therapists will tell you, like whenever someone does something to you or life shits on you or something, you can be angry. You're allowed to be bitter, angry, but you have to come back eventually because you're gonna want to have kids one day. You're gonna want to get laid. You're gonna have female coworkers. You're gonna have, you're they're 50% of the population, right? So you have to come back and be sober, right? But a lot of those guys in those, right, and God bless them, they're probably in a lot of pain. They cringe at the fact that when I post something like, hey, I'm willing to do nice things for my girl. If she's sick, I will do the laundry. Matter of fact, even if she's not, if she's stressed, hey, I got your laundry. I got you. A lot of them see that as, oh, that's simping. I like that. No, I'm like, no. That's called like, what are you gonna do for 40 years? You
It's not
think
simping if it's if it's an equal exchange of value.
my dad is traditional, old school Latino? You know what I'm talking about. And then when my mom was sick, he would make dinner. He would take care of her. He would say, "Hey, go to the store and get your mom some Gatorade." Like he took, and that's part of being a man is like you step up and you take care of your girl if she's the girl. You know what
That
I'm
that
saying?
takes care of you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's mutual.
right. And
It's
I've
the
told
problem is when you're doing that for a girl that doesn't do shit for you.
exactly, and and I I, I understand where they're coming from because it's very painful to grow up and not you get on a show and then they're saying like, hey, in order to get love from a woman, you need to work 10 years and make six figures or else women will not love you. That's what we're telling young guys. So everyone's fueling this like bitterness that they have, and then when they see guys that finally broke through and finally kind of like, and not only relationship, just broke through in that like they no longer are mad at women. They're just like they're people, whatever. Some of them are crappy, some of them are good,
Mm.
but then like you can't stay there forever. You have to move on with your life. You
Mhm.
have a business to start. You have career. Your parents are getting older. You got to take care of them. Like you have to grow up beyond that, or else you'll be mad forever and you'll be paralyzed, and that's not healthy. And
Mhm.
the red pill says like, yes, feel your red pill rage, but you cannot stay there forever. You have to move on. And then when you have a girlfriend and all that stuff, you can at least have the tools so when your girlfriend does something, you can solve the problem or at least live with it, right? So yeah.
Yeah, no, but no. So I started the show because of exactly what you just said. You were, or what you said earlier. You're like, I see this moving towards marriage. Like we're all going to be married. One of my biggest quotes from AMS that he always says that I love to repeat is, "We all go purple pill in the end." You can't avoid it forever. We're all gonna want relationships. We're all gonna want a family. We're all gonna want kids one day. Maybe not right now. Maybe you're bitter. You're hurt. You gotta go through some trials and tribulations before you get to that point where you're open for it again. But sooner or later, we're all gonna end up purple pill. That's why I started this show, was because I'm betting on the fact that most of these guys, these incels, or these guys that are huge losers, these dorks and stuff, they're gonna want to learn how to be with a girl sooner or later. They're gonna want to learn how to utilize pre-selection, how to be friends with girls, how to be around them sooner or later, because they're gonna realize, fuck, avoiding them, staying in the basement, hating them and stuff, it's not getting me anywhere.
Yeah.
And they're gonna need a show like mine that teaches how to be friends with them, teaches like how to utilize pre-selection, how to be a good boyfriend, how to be possibly a husband one day. But the biggest thing, change the fucking law so we can become husbands again.
Yeah, yeah,
But at the same time, I teach guys how to get that burning genuine desire where a girl will want to be with you with even without it
yeah.
sometimes.
And find loopholes too, like work the system. Like you know, maybe you don't want to be married. Maybe you'll do a common law and then wait 10 years, and if she's still with you, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, she's probably not going to leave after that. But the thing is, like, ultimately, guys, you should feel your feelings. You should be angry. Like I was angry, but I used the anger to fuel myself. Like I got into the gym. Like I had friends that got their lives destroyed by women. I was like, oh, I was so angry all the time, and then I had to work with those women. Like I was on the ship with women that were like, false allegations, sexual assault allegations, and I was terrified. I was terrified of women, and I was like, not because talking to them, just the power that they had. So I
Gives you
avoided,
PTSD, man.
yeah, and I avoided them. But then I started dating, and I started kind of like I said, let me give myself the opportunity to get to know this girl and just clean slate, one on one. Let me get to know this girl with my red pill knowledge, and things started getting so good with my dating life because I finally like I was still bitter and frustrated, red pill rage face, but then this person that was in front of me, I'm like, I'm not. She has nothing to do with anything. She is,
Just
she
still
is,
human.
yeah, she's a human being. And the thing is too, like you guys, you're allowed to complain about women. They complain about us, but it's not like complaining like they not hate. It's complaining like your dad will tell, oh, your mom is being so crazy today, right? But that's normal and healthy. You're allowed. I would say you can dislike women about 10%. The other 90 is just like
Yeah.
accept them for
And
who
you
they
just
are.
can't make it a habit where you're thinking it and saying it all day long, because then, yeah, obviously, like, that's an issue. But yeah, every once in a while you but stupid
Yeah, yeah, and that's okay, and they do the same for us. But like, you don't have to completely pedestalize them and love them, and you don't have to hate them either. Just have a healthy view. Just like my mom and my dad would get mad at each other, and then at the end of the day, we were at the dinner table joking. Like that's life, Nothing is perfect. You don't have
Dude,
to be
that's
perfect.
that's like me as fuck, dude. I'm so like, my girlfriend hates it because I could be like, I guess that's considered bipolar, where like you could be like upset about something, and then 5 seconds later, like be completely over it, and that's totally me as fuck. I can get over shit in 2 seconds. Look at this $5 super chat. Thank you, Lauren, for the $5. I can't say your name because I can't roll my L's or R's or however the fuck you say
Lauren Arroyo. There
it.
you go.
How do you feel about emotionally intelligent and expressive men? How do you feel,
Uh,
bro? Outside of anger.
so outside of anger,
Mm-hmm.
that's the emotion that girls don't like us to express. They're like, oh, express your emotions, and then it's like accept anger, jealousy. Just for the gals, we're so simple it pisses you off, right? We're really simple, and also you. I'm not trying to give prescriptions to the girls. I don't think it works because you guys will be what you are. But I would say if a man walks through the door and he doesn't want to talk about his day, give him time. In about 2 days, he'll tell you everything you want to know, right? But just chill out. Don't come with that neuroticism. Relax and understand that a lot of men go through a lot of pressure. You'll never understand it. It's fine. Just um, let him open up on his own, and he will love you more for it. Every time girls will know something's wrong with us because that's their ability. But at the end of the day, like just let him open up to you, and he will. And emotionally intelligent men. Some psychologists say emotional intelligence doesn't exist. I don't know where I stand on that myself, but just know that, and it's like a gray area because people think expressive men are like, like um, feminine, right? But if I have a problem with you or we got to talk about something, I'm gonna talk, but it's gonna come from like a masculine kind of like
It's coming
angle.
from your heart.
Yeah, like if my girl, like, let me give you an example. My girl wanted to know. Okay, my girl wanted to know. Let me think. Okay, so my girl wanted to. I had to approach my girl about her fitness habits, right? Like she wasn't not fat, she was not super overweight, but she had. I need to be with someone that is because it makes your life longer. It's better. Health is very important to me, right? So how do you? So she noticed that I was kind of like not digging her eating habits, and she kind of like, hey, like, is there something wrong with And I had to sit down and like, hey, this is the reasons, and you're direct, but also you love your girl, so you got to talk to her not like your boys, you talk to her like a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why game is so important too, because you can't talk to everyone the same. So
Game is kind of emotional
yeah,
intelligence.
and it's basically understanding women and their limitations, right? You can't just tell a woman you're fat, go lose weight. Like that's never gonna work, right? But you could tell, like, you could come this angle, like, hey, health is very important to me, and you could throw in a little bit of game, like, hey, when I have kids with you, I want the baby to be healthy too, and I want you to be healthy, like.
Yeah, that's a good
And
one.
then you say, like, and also I want to spend as much of my life as I can with you. So if you don't eat healthy, we'll lose 1 or 2 years, and I can't spend with you.
That's
Boom.
smart.
And she's smiling, and now you're meal prepping for the week, and she'll lose 10 pounds in a month. I promise, guys.
Yeah, no, that's a
Easy
good one.
game.
Lauren, also, I want to say, what I see emotional intelligence as is just like the ability to not, overreact, like not be like crazy emotional when you shouldn't be and stuff like that. And I, I would say those are the best guys to be with are the guys that have the emotional intelligence to never actually be emotional. Like they're very stoic all the time. A guy that is expressive, I would be worrisome of. Like I would say that a guy that is actually an emotional guy, and I'm telling you this as a guy that is an emotional guy, okay? It's not a good thing. It's like guys that are raised to be emotional or guys that just have a cluster B disorder or anything like that that makes them emotional. It's not a good thing if they're expressive. Like, is there some good things that may come of it? Possibly, but for the most part, it's not a good thing. It's not. I would, if I was a woman, I would say just avoid any type of guy that has those type of emotions or cries easily or anything like that. It's just gonna make for something else bad that's gonna happen down the road. You should definitely seek the guys that are always stoic and they just don't show any emotion, in my personal opinion. Um, what was I? Oh yeah, I wanted to ask. You had just said something about yeah, giving a woman a prescription because she wouldn't even do it. What do you think about me doing my show, bro? And I'll say that with a little side thing that I understand that a lot of girls won't learn what I teach. I have this mentality of as long as like 1% learn this shit, then I'm helping the world a little bit. Like as long as one girl keeps their fucking legs closed and maybe retains some of this information and becomes a good wife one day, then I'm doing good. But I accept the fact though that most of the women that come in my show, this shit is not gonna,
Yeah.
because they're just, you're in the gynocentric society. You're just like they want to be chased so bad. They're just always gonna end up with the beta bucks these days. But yeah, what do you think about that? Trying to teach the women.
I think it's more by example. Um,
That's a good point. Yeah,
I
just like
think,
Jesus said to do.
yeah, it's just more an example, and then I would say too, like a lot of women, they get tricked into thinking they're invincible and that they're gonna have the opportunities they have with men their whole life right now and all that stuff. I would say for women, it's just simply look at the people that are happy in their relationships, right? And I'm not saying happy like on Instagram. I'm saying like people that you know personally. Maybe you have a brother and his wife are super happy. Maybe your cousin, your parents, somebody that's very happy in a relationship, and just see their dynamic, you know, and kind of ask yourself, do I need to go to therapy? Do I need to work on myself? And that's the only way forward. And then kind of realize that yes, good guys are boring, but bad guys will ruin your life if you let them. I think the best way going forward is a reformed bad boy, like a guy. He's 32. He's like, yeah, I've done all these things, but I'm ready to settle, and that's hard, right? Because you don't know. You're so excited, but there are reformed guys out there that kind of want to settle. Have always had options, kind of want to settle, but um, those are the guys. I think those are the best guys for women because they got the edge or exciting, but at the same time they're kind of like, I'm ready to settle and have my I have a girl and all that stuff. So it's hard. So I think it's harder for girls to find
It's very hard for
for
them,
a
bro.
good guy that they like, because there's good guys all over the place, but a guy that they like. But now
They
you
just
could blame
can't tell
social
if,
media for that too.
yeah, they just can't tell if the guy's a settler, or like if he's right. Like that's their issue, is because like they all do that. Like they all go to the guy that he's never had a past of settling, and they know that. But then when they get with him, they're like, oh, well, he's gonna settle for me because I'm better than all the other girls or something like that. And yeah, that's like a really hard thing for them to call, because I think it is like an age thing. There's a certain point that he's gonna hit, or a certain girl that he's gonna smash, and he's gonna be like, you know what? I'll stop right here. And those poor girls, man, they could never know if they're at that point or not. I always actually tell them, you need to watch for the guys that are relationship guys, because certain guys are just relationship guys. Like me personally, I'm a relationship guy. Even when I've been single, I've only been single for 6 months to a year, and it's because I'm just a very picky motherfucker. And but like girls know me, like any girl that's my friends or anything like that, they know I'm more comfortable in relationships. I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna probably be in a relationship, unless like I just got out of a bad breakup.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's tough.
yeah. I gotta ask, like when it comes to like being raised and stuff, man. Were you in a two-parent household, a single-parent household? Like, who had the most impact on you, your mom or your dad?
I was two parent, very traditional. My dad was in the military. Um, he brought all the money, and my mom was like stay at home mom and raised us and all that stuff. So
I noticed a lot of people in the red pill space just come from traditional families, and
yeah.
that's why like we want those type of things. Like me personally, like my parents divorced when I was young, like 5 or 6, but then they both like remarried pretty soon after. And my mom remarried a guy, like did the tradcon thing very hardcore, where like she was more stay at home. Like she owned her own business and hair salon and stuff, but she it kind of swapped as time went on, where she was working less and he was working more. And then for my dad, it was like the power couple thing,
Hmm.
where they both like worked a lot, but they both built a lot together, and they're
Hmm.
both doing really good now together because of their power couple goals, kind of.
Hmm.
So I got to see both sides of it, and it was really weird seeing both sides. Like I always say, like I feel bad for most people because I had a cheat code in life. Like I fucking,
You got to see both. Yeah.
bro, it's not even just that. Both of my fathers were amazing. Like my stepfather, 6-figure earner, a super redneck guy, taught me to go hunting. I shot my first deer with him, went
That's the
dove
dream.
hunting.
Any kid's
Yeah,
dream. Yeah.
I got to learn everything of like the redneck country lifestyle. I rode bulls. Like I did everything.
Sounds so
Like
much fun, man.
yeah,
Damn.
no,
Even I'm jealous. Yeah.
dude, no, I got to do all of that. And then my dad on like my actual dad was a complete opposite, liberal Hispanic who was against guns, against all that stuff. but very into sports, very competitive, huge hustler. My dad taught every piece of my bone that's a hustler in me is all from my father. He worked for the Federal Bureau of Prisons and also DJ'd every weekend and also did side hustles on top of that,
Yeah, he
renting
he
stuff
was
out.
after it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I learned a lot from both. I learned how to make things and be a hard worker with my stepdad because he made me work every day after school. We had a lot of land and shit, but I learned money and how to like just be like I don't know, just a better person I guess from my father
Hmm.
kind of. And then both my moms also like amazing. I had four sisters as well.
Oh yeah, so
There's
you
just
had.
there's just so many aspects I like with my life that kind of propped me up to the point where like I have the mind that I have now, and it's just like I couldn't have had any better of a bringing up. Like as far as like business, money, women, like I literally feel so lucky that I was raised in the environment that I was raised in. I feel bad for people who just they only have one mom or one dad. It's like fuck. I had double you. Like I
Hmm.
had two moms. I had two dads, and they were all kicking ass.
Yeah.
You know. It just I feel bad for people today. So when I try to like do this stuff and teach people, it's like I'm just teaching from a point of like I was very lucky, and
Hmm.
I can show you. And then the crazy thing about my life is after all that good raising that they did, I did the complete opposite of what most kids would do, and I took the hard route in life. I got kicked out at 18, started doing all the horrible things that you can imagine, but had to make it through like the hard way through the trenches. But through the trenches is how I learned everything that I needed to learn to get to where I'm at today. I've failed at multiple businesses, 9 different businesses before I was successful on my 10th one. So I'm really proud of like all my failure that happened after my family did a really good job at raising
Hmm.
me.
Yeah.
Not I got very lucky in life. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't get lucky. Another 5 from Lauren. I really appreciate you. How do you guys feel about the incel community using the more radical red pill messages to push their own? Very good show and banter day. Yes, it is a good banter. What do you think about the radical incel guys? Like what do you think about them pushing the message?
Um, I don't think there's any a such thing as an incel community because um every guy is like 6 months away from
Becoming one.
becoming no well become getting late or becoming one or getting late. So let me ask you this about incels, Lauren. When I was on the ship serving my country in the Middle East, bombing ISIS, right, operating nuclear reactors, I didn't get laid for like 8 months. Was I an incel then? Like, was I part of the community of incels?
Maybe she was just using that term to like
Are you
blanket
talking about the
like
online
yeah,
guys,
just
not the actual physical meaning of an
yeah,
incel?
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I would reword it as the incel community as just like the guys that watch Fresh and Fit, only the night shows, and send all the derogatory messages to the girls. Like not like the actual guys that are involuntary celibate. Because yeah, I agree with you. There's a lot of really good guys that are just involuntary celibate.
Well,
But as far as those guys that are radicalizing the messages that are just mad at kind of women, kind of for not fucking them.
yeah, well, it's just guys that are in the red pill race. This is a phase. It's not like they're gonna stay there forever. Eventually, something's gonna have to happen. They're gonna have to go out and meet a girl once or twice. They're going to have to figure this stuff out, right? They have to do it. So,
Do you think it starts with becoming friends with one? Or
what?
just having enough of a conversation to kind of like what you were talking about earlier, how like you realize like this is just another person, like you were saying,
Yeah.
like you're like from that personal example. Do you think that it just takes them going getting to get out of the red pill rage? They just gotta meet a good girl. Like they
Uh,
finally meet a good girl, maybe on a friendship level or just like a dating level, but they just meet a girl that they're like, oh, she's not that bad. She's
yeah.
not a hoe. Like she's
Uh,
not like all these other girls.
older brother type guy meets them. Maybe they share an interest. And then that guy, they look up to that guy, and that guy's like, "Hey, let's go out. Let's go get drinks." And then you see how good the guy is with girls, and then he brings in a girl. The guy's nervous, but he relaxes, like, "Hey, this is my friend." And how do you think I did? How do you think? What did you think I do in the military when I take the guys out? That's it. I knew the guys weren't getting laid. I knew they didn't have girls. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, let's go out. Let's go." And not for girls, just to have a drink. And then I took all of them out once to New York City during Fleet Week, and the girls during Fleet Week, it's like the roles are flipped. You become like a woman because you cut the line, and the bouncers are yelling at the girls not to touch or mess up your uniform, and the girls are fighting for you. Like girls fly to New York City for Fleet Week so they can get laid and be with a sailor.
How
Like
funny.
yeah, and it was like I had to like tell girls, hey, relax, like I'm talking with my friends, and then some girl just pushed my friends and kissed me in the mouth. It was gross because she smelled like cigarettes, but and I took them out and I said, "Hey, come with me, guys," and that's how you get these guys out of their shell. And I know because I did this. I worked with guys like that, but not like on purpose. It was just like, oh, we were just in the Navy and all that stuff. So all they need, guys, is just like a older brother type dude to take them out, or someone to connect with them and pull them out. Because
A
I
mentor, yeah.
yeah, like not even yeah, like a big brother, like
A big
like come
brother,
on, get
yeah.
out of here, man, stop playing video games, let's go out.
No, for real. It
Yeah,
really is that
you
simple,
you don't
though.
need to you don't need Andrew Tate to tell you what you just need an older brother to come in and be like, hey man, you trying to go out tonight, or hey, let's get off this game and let's go do
But if
something.
they sit there and bask in their like
Right.
in their depression and emptiness, then yeah, they're gonna. But she also said, yeah, everyone goes through a period. I'm more referring to the men, because they have no charisma with women, end up becoming violent towards them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I would agree with him that that is a big deal. So like, what I teach in my coaching, because a lot of the guys that I'm coaching sometimes across the U.S.,
Mhm.
they're not always like, sometimes there's not another older guy to take them out. I have to teach these guys to just learn to be happy alone. And this is easy for me because this is what I've always personally done. If I'm
Right.
single, bro, I'll go eat at restaurants by myself. I'll
Yeah.
go to the movie. I'll do whatever the fuck I want by myself. I don't need nobody to do nothing
Go
with
to a
me.
convention, something. I'll do
Bro,
something. Yeah.
whatever I want. Like,
Yeah.
the
Concert.
biggest
Yeah.
thing is sitting by myself and eat. A lot of people don't even like to eat by themselves. I
Yeah.
don't mind doing that at all. I'm very good at going to a restaurant by myself, and that's one of the first things I have to teach these guys is they're too nervous. Like, they have anxiety just to go sit somewhere by themselves. And so, like, I like to kind of drag that out of them sometimes, because it's like, dude, like, you just shouldn't even be that worried about that. I don't know. Like, sometimes breaking that, just being down that fucking barrier, just opens you up to a whole new world of possibilities that you're so like cut off from, because
Mhm.
you just are too scared to go somewhere by yourself. Like, I would say all my success with women, everything that I've always done, it's because I go sit places by myself and I end up having conversations with different business owners, different women and stuff. And then it's all because I went by myself that I even had those opportunities. So like, I'm really proud of like doing stuff by myself sometimes. Like, it just, I don't think I would have been here where I'm at today if it wasn't for it. Gray Pill Podcast, salute to the chat panel. Thank you, bro. Um,
Thank you.
Lauren said, as an Army vet, I know there are plenty of times we all go through a period of low to no intimacy. Yes, it's very true. Um, Also, what was something else I wanted to ask you about, man? Um, what do you think whenever it comes to like the red pill space, like the big shows? Like, we'll go ahead and point the finger at Fresh and Fit right now. When it comes to those big shows, do you, like, is it a net positive or a net negative for like the entire community, like as a whole? Would you say it's like mostly bad or mostly good?
So the red pill doesn't really care about morality, and this is the hard part with a lot of guys because
Yeah.
we're good people. We want to see people do
Yeah.
good. I want to see everyone happy. I want to see women happy. Um, I want to see everyone happy. But Fresh and Fit, both of those guys are really smart. They're much smarter than people think. And also they're probably good guys. Like everyone online can seem evil or really good, but I've been noticing, like, meeting people like that I know online and meet in real life. I'm like, man, they're really really normal. They're just like, we're
Yeah,
just
there's
guys,
people,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, and I would say that it's, again, we need to pass off the responsibility off of them and off the on the viewers, and that's why I tell guys like, hey,
Yep.
it's you. Like, you can watch me all day and we can talk about women all day, but you need to go out there and you need to do the work, right? I don't agree that the after hour show. I don't think there's a lot of value in that, besides entertainment, right? But they do have some content which helps guys, but the guys don't, like,
It's like black pill's gonna black pill. The
yeah,
way the way I
right.
kind of see it, yeah, the way I kind of see it. So this is where like I'll draw the line. There's a difference to me between somebody that sells weed and sells heroin.
Mm,
Okay, so like, they can sell heroin, and there's always going to be people there to buy heroin.
mm,
Like, if you wanted to go start selling heroin right now, there's always
always
somebody
gonna
out
be.
there. Yeah. So like, say like we stop a guy who's the biggest heroin dealer in Dallas or whatever, somebody else will just come fill his space. There's always going to be a new person to come fill this space, okay? Because there's a need for that.
Mm,
So black pill's always going to black. There's always going to be a need for that, and I
mm,
think that there's always going to be somebody that's going to fill that gap. There's always going to fill that gap. I just won't condone selling heroin.
mm,
That's the way that I would see it. And this once again goes back to like the free market capitalism thing. It's just like the best is going to win at the end. And in today's day and age, morality, like we always have to separate red pill with morality and stuff. But see, I've been bridging this gap lately because we can't separate it. And the reason why is because morality is directly tied to life. Like life is 10% what happens to you and 90% the way you react to it.
Mm-hmm.
So since morality is such a big deal, we can't just ignore the morality topic at all. And then when we peel layer back again, it comes back to capitalism once
Mm-hmm.
again. Like we are men, we like hierarchies, we like to compete. If we like to compete, then even on a moral grounds, we are going to compete. It's natural for us to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to compete on a moral ground of who is more moral, who is more right.
Mm-hmm.
So even in those cases, I'm still like, especially when people like Fresh and Fit are selling like prescriptions, like selling fucking things and teaching things, like saying, he literally says at the time of the show, women, y'all should do this and men, y'all should do that. These are prescriptions, okay? So when it comes to all that stuff, oh, it's a battle of the fittest then. It's a free market, baby.
Who's the coolest?
Who's the smart? Yeah, who's the coolest? Who's the best? Who has the best prescriptions? It's gonna happen soon, guys. I'm telling y'all. Like this is we think these are the top dogs, but look back to 10 years ago. What were the top dogs 10 years ago, prescriptions wise? It was based off the PUA. Like think about Mystery and all those things. There's different
people. Neil Strauss.
Yeah, if we look at it like a stock, okay, like it was down here. Like say there was 10 billion people viewing red pill stuff a month in 2013, and who was the biggest guy then, and what was the biggest prescription he gave? Okay, and those were the scripts that everybody kind of talked about and lived by. Have this many bodies, whatever the fuck. I wasn't around back then, so I don't know. But what is the stock up to now? We got 100 million people maybe a month watching, or way more than that, watching red pill content, and then on top of that, what's the prescriptions now compared to back then? And we're saying, oh, that PUA shit's lame, or that doesn't work now. This is what we've evolved to. So it's like, what is the future? That's what I'm always looking at. Where is this stock going?
Oh, okay.
Like, what is the next peak of the viewership? What is the next peak of the prescription? Because we can sit here and say praxeology all day long and all this shit, but what's truly changing is that prescription. Because like we know Rolo isn't going to change. Like the facts are never going to change stuff like that, which I'm not going to reveal anything because I got to debate him next month, but I got a good point towards his shit on that.
Yeah.
I want to say it right now, but I can't say it. But but no, like even towards that, like, oh, I kind of want to say it, man. No, because it's gonna ruin my show if I say it. No, I really want to, but no, y'all gonna be ready for that road debate because I got a few points that I'm gonna hit him on that he's never heard before. A lot of this stuff that I guarantee you, like we're talking about, this stuff isn't ever talked about, and I love talking about these things because Pearl even said this like a while back. This is pushing it's like an art to push the conversation past certain barriers, and like I may be a small channel and we're not two big influencers or anything talking about this, but we make butterfly effects. Like I know big red pill content creators that watch my channel regularly, and they take some of my stuff all the time.
Yeah, they jack it.
Yeah, it's like I may be small guys, but I'm your fucking biggest people's fucking. They're my biggest fans sometimes. Swear to God, y'all. I talk to them about it on the phone after the shows all the time. I'm not going to shout out names, but a lot of them watch my shit. And it's because they all see this wave coming too. And they know that I'm trying to catch it more than anyone, especially as a small guy that's trying to blow up. I'm trying to be on that wave more than anybody.
Yeah.
I'm blowing like almost $4,000 a month on this fucking studio.
So in terms of the morality, I have a video where I talk about morality and dating, right? And when we say there's no morality, I'm gonna take some accountability here, right? When I say there's no morality in dating, that is not the green light for you to go act crazy.
Yeah, and go cheat,
to go
and stuff.
hurt people, to go cheat, to go do these things. We don't care whether cheating is good or wrong, right? This is the mental model we use for that. She does not own your libido. She gets first crack at it. That means if you're 2 years in a marriage and she hasn't touched you, then what are you going to be a better father or husband if you're not getting your needs met? No, then you have to go get your needs met, right? And that's the morality part where I say there is no morality because we enter contracts with marriage. I mean, I'm not going to, but like we enter contracts with marriage or just simply just being with a girl. And if you come with this thing where like women should, the red pill stops at should, what is? And right now, here's a kind of like a flow chart for you, right? Mm-hmm. I tell a guy, hey, there is no morality in dating. He's like, really? And I'm like, yes, just be careful, right? Mm-hmm. So now when girls say, hey, let's just hook up me and you, no protection, he's like, no. I'm going to assume you're promiscuous, not to the girl, but like in my mind, I'm going to assume she's promiscuous and I'm going to protect myself. So he uses protection. Yep. Guess what? Now he probably dodged a couple venereal diseases, some that are incurable. So he dodged that bullet because he assumed that all women are promiscuous. Okay. He protected himself from that. All right. So now, he moves on to the next girl or next situation. This girl is she's not mine. It's just my turn. Tricons don't like that. A lot of guys don't like that. But now, guess what? Now you can see her with a healthy unattachment than a more dangerous attachment. Your ego's tied to this girl. You own her. We don't own women, right? So now when she goes off with another guy, or she stays with him for a while then leaves, he's gonna be sad. It's okay to be sad. I get sad when women leave me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mourn just like any other guy. But now he's not completely broken for 2 years. He can move on with his life. He'll be sad. It's better to be sad for a month than for years, because you thought, you went the older thinking of like, women are belong to me, like a
Yep.
relationship, right? And then now that we've instilled this kind of mentality of like, hey, bro, your morality is for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Your morality, like if you want to be, let's say your morality is tied to religion. If you want to be a man of God, that's on you. Women are not going to subscribe to that just because you have that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to be careful in how you deal with women inside of that morality. Your morality is for you, for your family, for your mom and dad, for your brother, your sister, your friends. But when it comes to dating, you're alone out there. There is no, the culture's not doing the heavy lifting for you, right? So the morality thing, the red pill and the morality thing comes down to this. The ultimate morality is to have guys not lose their minds and finish themselves, unalive themselves, right?
Yep.
That is the ultimate. That is the ultimate morality, right? And if I have to maybe give women a harder time, or stop giving them the benefit of the doubt, and
Or
maybe,
use a little bit hyperbole to save them.
yeah, then that's okay, because
Yeah.
women are going to be fine. No
Yeah.
matter how much they get yelled at on these podcasts, their subscribers are going to go up. Their OFs are going to be popping. The guys are the ones that I'm concerned about, right? So if we say, hey, we post that picture with the line of guys and the girl on the couch on all four. I know you've seen that. I
Yeah.
went viral the other day for posting that. And I tell guys like, hey man, just assume it's like this. That doesn't mean hate women. That doesn't mean disrespect them. Just have a healthy view,
Mm-hmm.
because women's Instagrams are popping. They're getting attention from everywhere. And guess what? You'll maybe find a couple years down the line, you'll find a girl that is just, you won't even care. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't bother you. And plus your body count might be so high that you're just like, you'll never have had the experience I have, that I have, so I'm okay with it, right? So that the morality thing, morality is for you. And also the dangerous part is that whose morality, right? When Andrew Tate got canceled, whose morality was he under? The morality of of another government, whoever is in power,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if the red pill is being, if we include religion, red pill, and race and politics in the red pill, right? What happens is whoever has the most power is going to use it for their own means,
Mm-hmm.
right? For example, who has the most power? Like maybe the liberal side of the government. So now red pill's on the FBI list.
Yeah.
So if now I talk about, hey man, we got this guy who's suffering with women, how do we help him? And we use these words. Now whoever's morality is the number one morality gets to decide the future of free speech and deciding,
Mm-hmm.
because now it's, and that's the crazy part, right? So maybe the red pill turns to Islam, and now, like it's just very dangerous to. It's okay to inject morality into intersexual dynamics. I do it because there's certain things I won't do to women, and I'm very calm, and I like women for the most part. They're all right. But when we inject morality into the red pill, always think, whose morality? Is it mine? Is it the government's? Is it the legal system?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a religion? And that's why the red pill always needs to be kind of separated from that. However, you individually as a man, you have the power to inject your own morality in the way you date.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that it's on you if it doesn't pan out the way you want, because you're dealing with a whole other universe of a person. Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, you just need to be very solo with your morality. I gotta disagree with you on something though, really quick, bro. I hated that picture of the guys like,
Lined up.
yeah, and the reason why is because this is just, it's a fallacy to me. Like it's something that everybody. This is not just you, or
Well,
it's
I don't
clear.
agree with the picture either. I was
Well,
just
no,
putting it for effect. Yeah.
well, like the hyperbole of all. I mean, we see this all the time. Like I even go to feminist subreddits, bro.
Mhm.
Like I literally look at I'm a devil's advocate. I look at every side of everything, and the biggest thing that they hate is whenever we say all women are this, all women are that. Even just saying a majority of women are this. Because it's just simply not true, bro. Like, there's a bunch of girls that are relationship girls, and they're in a bubble of relationships. And when they get out of one, they might fucking like Dick Carousel, like a few guys. But if they're a relationship girl, they're gonna find a relationship guy because they're good at devoting themselves.
And that's most of them.
Yeah, and that's most of them. Yeah,
Mhm.
and then so we always get confused whenever we fuck these girls that have cluster B disorders, these girls that stay single because they're single girls, and we get confused and we think all these girls are hoes,
I
but it's
bang
like we're
six
only
dudes a day. I'm like, do you guys even believe that? That's literally impossible. That's literally impossible. Not
yeah.
even the best logistics in the world you can do
Well,
it.
well, it's all to me. It's just all about where you go. Like I hate like a big thing that I coach against is dating apps. I don't use any type of internet. Like I'm all pre-selection in real life. Like
Mhm.
that's all I get girls from. That's all I teach how to get
Social
girls from.
circle.
Yeah, social circle game. Because whenever you meet people through certain things, that's why they're hoes. Like that's like duh. Like of course they're a hoe. You met them at the club or you met them through a dating app. There's certain places where if you meet people through that, I'm going to automatically assume that person's a hoe. And then once the checks mark off because I noticed different things, like oh, well, I already knew that, because I met them through this avenue or I did this. But if you meet, I've tested this in different avenues, and it's like, oh, well, what the fuck? This one's on a hoe. This one's on a hoe. This one's on a hoe. What the fuck? How is these places producing women that aren't hoes? It's like there's a whole math problem behind it.
Mhm.
But the community is gone today. Back in the hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, in the plains of fucking Oklahoma or whatever, we're a tribe and we're all
Mhm.
sitting together and we're spending time with each other all the time.
That's what
There's
we're
a
designed for. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like whenever shit's like that, it's way easier. But whenever we're all separated from each other and stuff, and there's no community, like a big reason why I'm very social is because I grew up in a church, and it wasn't because my parents made me go to the church.
Mhm.
When I was 12, 13, I physically wanted to go to this fucking church, and I was obsessed with it. I went there. I literally became homeschooled and started going to this church every fucking day.
Mhm.
Okay, and that made me hyper social though. With all these older, I had all these older mentors. I had all these women around me all the time. That was something that like really reinforced and made me who I was because I was part of such a strong personal real life community. How many kids from 12, 13 to 18 have that today?
None.
None.
They
Yeah,
have
not at
Fortnite.
all.
They have Fortnite.
Yeah, at all. I wanted to wait. Was it this one? Totally negative. No. Oh, moral. I don't hate F and F, bro. I need to fucking clarify this for the thousandth time. I think they do a great job at making men into better men. Now, do they also make a lot of men kind of more shitty? Like the black pill doomers, more black pill, kind of. But I do think that they do a good job. I could never touch Myron at telling a fat guy to fucking like I'm not a fitness guru. I'm not gonna sit there and be the best at telling fat dudes to lose weight and fucking get their life together and all that stuff. I give him props, and he's doing it to millions of guys. He helps them with their credit. I give him props for all that. But on the other side of the spectrum, you need somebody saying some shit to the women and telling them to keep their fucking legs closed. This is a double issue in the world today. Like the women sleeping around and the guys being losers. So we fix both problems at the same time, not just one at a time. Like and that's silly. So yeah, I know Fresh and Fit doesn't like me, but I can still be respectful. $5 from Umbre of the House. The ultimate message is the way you attract your mate will show what the true value you provide to each other is. The looks, clothes, and body fades. Yes, that is very true, man. Yeah, you definitely want to attract the right way because that shit will fade out in the end. Um, what $5 from Jose. Thank you, bro. W stream and W guest. Yeah, this was a really fire stream, bro.
Thanks, man.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions? About yesterday. Like, was there anything about the show yesterday that you were just like, whoa, this guy's not red pill? Or like, was there anything that you're just
Like
like, this
about
is
you
weird?
or
Yeah,
just in
yeah,
general?
yeah, yeah. Well, just like, what did you think about the show yesterday? Was there just anything special? Was there anything that I said that you're like, that's different? I'm not used to that.
No. I mean, I like the show overall. The ladies were very
We
respectful.
had smart girls yesterday.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like girls that they were just really. I thought it was a good experience overall. Um, I come from a place of a lot of experience and a lot of like kind of. I pay attention to a lot of what over the years. I've learned concepts and stuff. But also I also put them to the test out there and all that stuff. Um, yeah, I thought the show was really fun. I really don't have I mean, I appreciate you letting me come into your show, and it's just my first public appearance, so I was kind of like on edge. It was my first public appearance and all that stuff, and um, but yeah, everyone was very nice, very hospitable, and I just I really have nothing to say, man.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
dude, you did good, bro, for your
Yeah,
first public experience or
yeah,
your like your first like time on a podcast like
yeah.
that. Dude. I really appreciate you for coming. I hope that you come for another panel. We get you on another Saturday, and hopefully we can have like a panel of guys next time with you, and like we
Hmm.
can all discuss like some red pill things. I
Yeah.
really see the space coming together in the future, bro. Like I've been having a lot of talks behind closed doors with a lot of other bigger people and stuff, and this whole divide that we see in the red pill space of people arguing and talking shit all the time, like doing these clickbaits like bullshit, it's not going to last much longer because I think that we're all starting to see that we're way weaker separate than we are when we're together. And
Well,
I,
there's no bouncer at the door for this stuff. Like I said, it's open
yeah.
source. Anyone can come on and say this, and that, and then somebody can clip that and say, "Do you see these manosphere or these red pill guys? What they're saying?" And then they'll clip that, and it just becomes like. And then here I am. I'm like, "Hey guys, um, get your logistics ready, tight, so that way when you can meet women, this, and that, right?" And it's just like we get lost in like old. We want a solution to your problem. That's all it's always been about, and it's always what it will ever be about is solution, right? And the only way to save young men, even though guys, the most powerful weapon on earth, aircraft carrier, is being pushed by 23-year-old men, right? Like got young men who play video games on their off time, who play Warhammer down in the depths of the ship. They get called to go down to the plant, and they're the ones putting out fires, and they're the ones pushing a four megawatt reactor, pushing steam into those engines to go see what's up and to bomb like ISIL. Right, my ship was a ship that killed Soleimani. We
It's
did
crazy.
as soon as I flew off that ship, my ship deployed, and my friends told me I emailed them, hey, what I can't ask them exactly where they're at, but like, hey, oh, are you guys out there? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, okay, I just saw the news. Did you because usually you find out before they do,
Mm,
and those were 23-year-olds defending freedom around the world, right? So let's first of all let's stop with this. Young men are stupid. They're lost. They're not lost, right? They just want a mental model so when they deal with women they aren't destroyed, sad, depressed. Let's have more faith in them and let them decide what the right thing is to do for them. And then guys, us like us, you're in your early 30s, I'm in my early 30s or mid 30s now, I'm getting old, but we'll be here for taking them out to meet women, to give them like kind of like bro advice, to call them out and all that stuff. And that's what we need. We need more of that older brother kind of like energy, like make fun of them, be hard on them, but also like, hey, take them out, like, hey, let's go meet some girls, or hey, this is what I did, this worked for me for this chick, like, hey dude, avoid this type of chick, man, I had a bad time. And let's be less authoritarian and be more like trading notes, because
yeah,
that's what the red pill always was. It wasn't I know more than you, or hey man, I had this problem, like, hey, this is what I did.
this is
and
what I
and
experienced.
then we, hey, thanks man, I didn't know, and then that's it, that's where it stops. So yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, Demetrius, thank you for coming, bro. First time coming, man. I really appreciate you. And yeah, Jess, Jerry, I hope we invest more in nuclear energy because that's my favorite thing. I like the wheel on Tasty Trade. I love my nuclear and oil stocks, man. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming, bro. I appreciate you for
Yeah.
coming, man. This was definitely one of our best like
Oh man,
men's improvement
thanks.
panels because like I said, you bring a lot of table that's like different from the other red pillars. I'm excited for next week, guys. I got another person that's really unique from Dallas. It's a big red pill guy, also. But yeah, I really hope that we're able to all meet up again, bro. I'm gonna add you to some group chats for
Hmm.
other red pill guys. We're gonna make a badass community of red pill men right here in Dallas, and we're gonna take over the world, guys. It starts right here. But
Yeah.
no, thank you so much. Go ahead and shout out your YouTube channel really quick and your Instagram, and I'm gonna tag in just a second, guys, when the video's over.
Okay. So my YouTube is at Galileo Nuclear. Just started, guys. I got like 420 subscribers. So give me to 500. I really appreciate that.
Get them
Um,
up there, guys.
and then my Instagram is Nuclear Galileo. Twitch is Nuclear Galileo, and then my Twitter is where like I got a whole bunch of followers and I do a lot of mischief on there and I talk about stuff is Galileo Nuclear, just like my YouTube. So guys, follow me, and then I'll be probably dropping a course soon on like how to dress appropriately for different situations, and how your appearance, being perceived by others. It's not going to be expensive, guys. It's just I've always loved male fashion and like to dress well. So it'll be probably like $30. Nothing big, guys. Just want to help you guys out.
No,
That's all.
providing some value,
Yeah.
man. That's what I like. Thank you guys for coming, though. Thank you, dude,
Hmm.
man. This was a really good
No, thank
show.
you, man.
Yeah,
I
no,
had a
I,
blast.
I appreciate you, bro. And chat, we will see y'all. What's today, Saturday? I'll see y'all on Monday, guys. What the fuck do I have coming on Monday? I really don't know who's coming on Monday. I know Wednesday I got a good interview for y'all also. But yeah, I'll see y'all on Monday, guys. Peace out. Have a good day. Good Saturday.